What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix a bent tie rod, so stick around. Now, in my last wheeling trip, I bent my tie rod. You might have seen it in the last four-wheeling video that I did. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and check it out. It's pretty cool. I was winching myself off of the last obstacle, and no one told me that my tie rod was smashed up against a rock, and I just winched over it, and I just tacoed it. So if I had the money and I didn't have the means of fixing this right now, I would be upgrading to probably the 70-75 aluminum links that are super strong and they actually bend and bounce back and don't stay tacoed like this. That will probably be what I upgrade to eventually, but for right now, I'm just going to fix this. So first off, we need to figure out what part we need to cut out. So I'm just going to take my level here, and so you can look and see where it starts to bend, which is right in here. In this area, right there. I'll do the same on the other side. This is the section I'm going to cut out, and it should be straight on both other sides. So I do want to show you my plan real quick. So this is a spare piece of 1.5 inch, 1/4 inch wall DOM that I made these links out of. So that's what this is. This will be what I splice in. But in order to do that, I need some 1-inch pipe. This is just from the scrapyard. This is going to go inside in order to keep everything straight when I weld it together. So it'll be sleeved on the inside with this guy here. And this is really just a locator to make sure that everything's going to be straight when I'm all done. And then this is 1 3/4 inch. I think it's 120 wall, just like what I use for the roll cage and whatnot. And this will be sleeved on the outside, and I will be welding a bunch of different places, welding on the inside, the outside, the pieces together, and basically splicing it back together. And really, it's going to be stronger than it was before, you know, in these areas. So this piece that I cut out is bent. One side is a little under 1/8 inch, under 7.5, and the longer side is 1/8 inch above 7.5. So I'm just going to make the new side 7.5. Olight is the maker of high quality flashlights. I've been using them for a while now. They're super awesome. Make sure you click the link in the description and use the code muddybeards 4x4 to get yourself 10% off your purchase. So this is the basic idea of what it's going to be. My new piece right here in the middle. I'm going to grind down, bevel the edges here on both sides because I'm going to fully weld these together. And the only way I can do that, keep it straight, is to sleeve the inside of the tube. So this will be on the inside right here, and then this piece will be sleeving the outside. Now, in order to make all the pieces fit inside of each other, I'm going to use my carbide bit to grind out the inside of the tubes, and my flap disc to clean up the outer edges. So from here on out, it's just a bunch of cutting, grinding, welding. That was definitely more of a pain than I thought to get this on here. Just that 1-inch pipe is just barely fits in there, and I just really had to beat it with a hammer. So I kind of modified my plan a little bit. I ended up cutting off a bunch of this 1 inch because I mushroomed it and whatnot, cut it off. And so I'm just going to have this 1.5 inches or 2 inches. I just need it so it's straight, so I can weld these seams right here and this seam right here. And I already have my outer sleeve over this, because this is going to go onto this. And then the outer sleeve I will slide over top, and I'll probably fully weld the outside and then drill and plug weld a couple spots just to make sure it doesn't slide off. And also, this is what it looks like when you hit your hand with a 5-pound sledge. It hurts. I'm assuming this is going to be a pain, so I'm going to put some grease on the tube, WD-40 on the inside, and hold it upright so it'll soak down all the way through to the other side, hopefully making it easier to slide down over the tube. So this didn't go quite as I expected. It did not want to go on. I didn't feel like fighting it anymore. So I just cut a relief cut down this, pounded it on, made it super easy. This tube, the inside tube, is fully welded back onto itself with, maybe a 2-inch sleeve on the inside, on both sides, fully welded, and then it'll have this 1 3/4 120 wall DOM sleeve on the outside, fully welded. And that's going to be super strong. Well, there we go, guys. That is how I fixed my tie rod, all done and ready to bolt back in. But I have so many other things that I'm doing right now. The whole front end is mostly apart. I want to get this Jeep back on the trail as soon as possible. So there's a few things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to totally skip making YouTube videos on it. It will be another 6 months before this thing gets back on the trail if I made a YouTube video of every single thing that I did. So right now, I'm just going to show you really quick exactly what's going on in the garage right now behind the scenes. You can see right here, working on putting on the Curry anti-rock front sway bar, and this whole passenger side is totally tore down. Knuckle is off. I'll go over to the bench and show you what I'm doing on that in a second. But this all started with my RCVs. I noticed the boot right here that my ball joint, the cap for the grease fitting, I don't have the full grease fitting in there because it wouldn't even fit. So I have to grease it, then put a little cap in there. And that cap was rubbing on this, which it wasn't rubbing on the other side. So I looked at it, and the ball joint was actually not fully seated in the knuckle. So I was able to fix that. I don't know if I just got frustrated when I installed it a couple years ago or it's coming loose. I doubt it's coming loose. Looks like it was been that way, not totally all the way in, for quite a while. So I was able to press it the rest of the way back in, and that should fix this issue. I'm also going to be doing hydro assist, so I got my ram right here. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to mount my ram. So the anti-rock on this side, you can see right here that my track bar mount on my frame is in the way, and I'm forced to make a new track bar mount because it's in the way of this anti-rock. So luckily, I got that plasma cutter. Should make quick work of cutting this bracket off, clean it up, and then I'll be able to make a new bracket that's has more clearance than this guy right here. So that's another thing I got to do. But let's go over to the knuckle here. I just finished welding it up. So this is where the drag link steering box is going to come in right here. And then this middle guy will be my hydro assist. And then this one will be my tie rod, which is why I can't install it, the one I just fixed right now, because it's not on the Jeep. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is going to work? Am I just going to rip this whole knuckle apart? I kind of made some bends here and welded it, tack welded it, plug welded it to the top of the knuckle, flattened it out, reinforced the sides, maybe a bracket on the back side here to kind of tie all these together to the knuckle. I'm not really sure, but this it's hot. This two heim joint setup, stacking it like here, has worked really well so far. So I don't really think that I will break this setup, but I guess we're going to find out. And what's really cool is I'm able to make these cool brackets and cuts with my new plasma cutter, the ESAB Cutmaster 40. And I've made a couple brackets with it. I've been super happy with it so far. Since I finished it last night, I'll show you what I did. It's hard to tell because I just painted it all black and it's just all kind of blends together. But I did add these backbone braces on the inside here. And I was able to use a little template here and the plasma cutter to cut out two of these little guys right here. So that's what they look like. And then I welded them to the back side here. Anyways, I just want to show you what I got going on in the shop because I'm not going to make videos of every little thing that I'm doing here. So leave me some stuff in the comments about what you think about the high steer knuckle that I'm making and the hydro assist mounting and whatnot. If you guys want to follow me on social media, which I will be posting pictures and videos of this stuff, not full-blown YouTube videos, but I'll try and keep up with my Instagram on all the stuff that I'm building and whatnot that I'm not putting on YouTube. So make sure you follow us there at muddybeards4x4. We got a website, muddybeards4x4.com. Check it out. Until next time, we'll see you on the trail.